Hey, what is up, guys? Flex Media here, bringing you yet another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And we are here in the most difficult category stage, Realm of Gods. And really what I want to do here is I kind of wanted to revisit this Extreme Class Realm of Gods team and sort of a couple reasons for inspiration for this video. Number one, I hadn't had a chance really to use the new Zamasu Goku, who's very, very good even without his EZA, by the way. But when he gets his EZA in Part 3, dude, he is a maniac. He's crazy, particularly on an event where you can finish the phase and he gets the killing blow, and then you can keep going. So, for instance, in Infinite Dragon Ball History, Legendary Goku, those types of events, he's going to be really, really good. Or even like long Dokkan events, right? If you need to Dokkan Awaken STR Buu, for instance, his event, he's going to be very, very strong, just absolutely demolishing everything. And then, of course, like once the links come, once the link updates come, it's just like, dude, this team, it's going to be like lights out because all of these units, or at least most of them, I believe, have big bad bosses. So that's an additional 25% attack and defense unconditional. And then not to mention a lot of their other links are being updated as well, like the Dismal Future and things of that nature. Like those are all being updated. So that was one inspiration of this video. Also, I finally pulled AGL Zamasu. I actually did not have him leading into the anniversary. I would say I like him. Definitely I like him as a Realm of Gods leader. I'm not a huge fan of his active skill. I wish his active skill, I know that maybe I'm asking too much. I wish his active skill did just either a little bit more damage, or maybe he got an increase in damage reduction or something. He's just so vulnerable. He literally is like so brittle. And it makes it really, really discouraging to try to run that. You know, he goes from 40% damage reduction down to 20% damage reduction, which is nothing when you have zero defense. So that was, anyway, I do like him, though. He's a fine unit. But that was another reason I wanted to run this. And then, of course, we are about to get a banner dropping, I believe, either tomorrow or the next day. The INT Rosé, and then Broly, Shilai, and Lemo banner. And then specifically, if we're talking about INT Rosé, he's going to bring a lot to this team, but the problem is we already have a really, really good Rosé who's probably going to fulfill the role that you want him to fulfill in providing support. So he is, of course, providing 50% defense to Extreme Class Realm of Gods allies, and then he is also providing 3 ki, and he's debuffing the enemies, assuming they're super class enemies. So he is bringing a lot to the table for sure. And then you drop INT Rosé, and it's like, he's a hard hitter. And it's like, yeah, and he's a shiny LR. He's got really, really nice animations. They're not like nearly as nice as like UI Goku or the Blue Fusions, but they're still pretty good. It appears as though he was made quite a while ago, in my opinion, from what I can tell. I don't know for sure. Maybe y'all can fill me in if you're familiar. But just the way his super attack animations look, it looks like he was made a while ago. But certainly he is like an Omega level character, you know what I mean, like in the game. He just hits crazy, crazy hard. He's got this mechanic where he gets attack based on the number of clicks on the key meter. And then if you get him to 20, that's his maximum power. And then, of course, if you get him to 24, he's going to get an additional 30% power on his super attack. So the problem is with him is he really, really needs key support. You know, so the other thing is like, it's not like you can't run both Rosés on the same team. Of course, I mean, there is a way if you use a friend Rosé, INT Rosé, but you know, that, which I guess could be useful, because he is still going to be getting the support type effect from AGL Rosé, but not going to be able to link with him. It's such a shame. I guess his best linking partner is probably INT Goku Black when he transforms, but how often are you getting that? You're basically getting that in the Legendary Goku event, and that's it. I mean, literally, that's pretty much it. I mean, probably you could get it, you could force it in the Infinite Dragon Ball History, but generally you're taking a lot of damage in Infinite Dragon Ball History. It's going to be hard to get him above 80% HP. You're going to have to, you know, you're going to have to heal right before the turn ends, basically, to force that. So, and then ain't Goku Black good for the long event? I'm not trying to shit on him too much. He's not really viable in something like Super Battle Road. He's just not, dude. You would think that he greatly raises defense on Super. That would make him really, really good defensively. Well, I'm here to tell you that it doesn't. It really, really doesn't, actually. So anyway, that's kind of one inherent problem with Rosé is not being... Wow, that was a lot of damage, by the way. Not as strong defensively, Fizz Goku Black as I thought maybe he was. Can still hit very, very hard, and of course he's providing ki as well. And he's better on the global version. That +3 ki is exclusive to the global version if you did not know that. So that's definitely like a global advantage right there. But INT Rosé, man, he's going to struggle for ki a little bit, except on maybe his own team or like the +4 ki Realm of Gods team, you know, UI Goku, of course. Or any other, you know, +4 team that you can fit him under. I guess the Trunks and Mai leader skill as well. But the thing is getting him that 18 key super, getting him up to 20 key is not easy. Because he just, on this Extreme Class Realm of Gods team, which is going to be his best team, like for sure, I guess Future Saga too. They're very, very similar teams. All of these units are on Future Saga, right? But that is going to be his best team, and he just doesn't really have the ideal linking partner. He's not going to share Prepared for Battle with any of these units, which is really a shame, again, except for Fizz Goku Black, and you can link him up with Fizz Goku Black. But the issue is he's going to be missing out on Super Saiyan. So, like, I think it's just very clear that this team, it does have some very, very good bones. Like, it's got good bones. It's got Fusion Zamasu or Merge Zamasu. I think we need probably a top-tier Merge Zamasu, you know, the purple, as Truth calls them, the purple Bukkake version of Merge Zamasu. So I think that we do need that in the game. I think there are definitely some other units that we could get. I think we could definitely get just straight up like a new Join Forces LR of Goku Black and AGL. Well, not AGL Zamasu, but Goku Black and Zamasu. I think we could easily get them, but maybe instead Goku Black is base form, because that does exist in the anime. That's not like that's not just like a pipe dream or anything. Like, we could easily get that. I think it would also be very smart of them, again, just to buff this team a little bit. I think it would be very, very smart of them to provide us a manga exclusive Super Saiyan Goku Black, because that only exists in the manga, Toyotaro's manga. So I think that would be a really, really smart choice. Add a few more options to link up with the INT Goku Black. So the other thing is a lot of people, and by a lot of people, I mean the vast majority of people, are not going to pull that LR. I know that seems hard to believe. Maybe you've got the Fire DBZ Blaze luck, and maybe you can pull him, you know, within the first few multis. But if you don't, you might not have him for 6 months, 8 months, 1 year. You know, it might take you to get this guy. And AGL Rosé, more than likely, if you are an old-time player, wow, 3.7 is pretty good, dog. That's very good. That additional super ended up taking him out. And then 2.7, not bad considering what else he's bringing to the team. But more than likely, you have multiple copies or multiple dupes in your AGL Rosé. And I think unless you've got multiple dupes in your INT Rosé, you're just straight up better off running the AGL Rosé. The role he is fulfilling is I think, it's a lot more needed on this team. So you've got the leader of this team in AGL Zamasu, and he needs defensive support, like, desperately. If you are unfamiliar with his kit, all he gets is 40% damage reduction, and then he gets some attack as well, but he doesn't get any defense is the point. So 40% damage reduction in something like Super Battle Road is just not good enough unless you're combining it with defense. So you've got Merge Zamasu, and you've got the AGL Rosé providing him defense, and then of course providing him ki as well. And a lot of these guys, they don't explicitly need ki, except for the LRs. The big time LRs, they need ki, you know, because you can struggle. Even unless you've got a ton of support on rotation, the LR Goku Black, the one on the end that you see here, can struggle to get the 18 key super. Now we've got a little bit of defensive support here, but he's not providing us any ki, so the defense is welcomed, but no ki. And we definitely need some offensive support on this team as well. I mean, a lot of these units hit pretty hard for sure. This Rosé, if he get this LR Rosé, if they get built up, dude, they hit extremely hard. You know, again, on the 170 leader skill, they can hit like 5 million. I mean, they're very, very strong offensively at least, and at least usable defensively. They're not a bad unit still to this day. Maybe aged a little bit, but the whole point being is like, yes, INT Rosé, I think, is clearly like a better unit. Like, he's better. He's gonna hit harder. He does greatly raise defense on his 12 and 18 key super, so that's really, really solid, especially if you can get him, you know, if you can get him an additional super attack, I mean, you're good to go, right? The problem is, a couple things, is number one, he's INT, and, you know, INT units, again, if you are unfamiliar, there are a lot of new players here in the 5-year anniversary. INT units, all they can get unconditionally is dodge through the potential system, so you would either have to give him additional or crit skill orb, which is going to be kind of hard to come by if you only have him at 55% anyway. So unless you're Garesh, or unless you're, you know, the Truth DT or whatever, and you're pulling multiple copies of this guy, you know, you're just, I think in most cases you're going to be better off running him, because as I mentioned, he can only dodge unless you have skill orbs at 55%. So no critties, no additionalies. So just something you need to consider when you're pulling on this banner. Again, so this brings up an interesting point. Pulling on this banner, I think obviously, you know, and I think it's easy to say, oh, it's a legendary summon, skip, skip, skip. And that's probably accurate, you know, most of the time, because the banners are just not great. I think probably the third best unit on this banner is like Wrathful Broly, and he's definitely a great unit for sure, but like, the thing is like, so let's say you got shafted on the Vegito banner, let's just say. The second and third and fourth best units on this are like, so you've got like 2 other LRs on the banner, and then probably the fourth best unit is like Tech Trunks. So like, if you pull the fourth best unit on the banner, you still pulled like a dominant Dokkan Fest exclusive unit. So that's the whole thing. That's why all these content creators tell you to skippity, skippity, skip, unless it's a really, really good value banner. And then, of course, like, no tickets, you know, they probably will have a Pilaf's Trove deal, I would imagine. But no tickets just from summoning, like on the Dokkan Fest banners, the dual Dokkan Fest banners. But the thing about this banner, this top legendary summon, is, remember, there are 2 featured LRs. So let's say you get a featured animation, right? Let's say you get, let's just say you get like a Krill and an 18 flying in. Now, a few things can happen here. So you can get the 3 unfeatured, or, you know, just 3 straight up SSRs, or you can get a featured unit. And of those featured units, 2 of them, 2 of 12, are going to be LRs, new LRs. So that means if you get that featured animation, you have a 1 in 6 chance of pulling one of the new LRs. So your odds of pulling them are not the worst of pulling a brand new LR. But LR banners, dude, the thing is like, they can be brutal. So if you're unfamiliar of how the summoning system works, in any given slot, except for the 10th slot, you have a 10% chance of pulling an SSR. And of that 10%, so if you split it up between, you know, essentially 50% of the time, you're going to get a featured SSR, and 50% of the time, it's going to be an unfeatured SSR. And then in that last slot, that guaranteed slot, 95% of the time, it's going to be an unfeatured SSR. And I think there are well over 200 unfeatured SSRs now. So you guys can see, like, that's why summoning on those banners can be brutal. They can be tough. But if you manage to get a featured unit, you know, if you're not just getting completely shafted beyond belief and you get featured units, you have a decent chance of pulling an LR, a 1 in 6 chance. I mean, that's pretty good. You won't really find that on too many other LR banners, honestly. Not really. This is going to be a very, very good Dokkan attack, by the way. So we targeted Tien. And obviously we have type advantage against Tien, and I think that even though we had the LR there, I really wanted him in the middle just to get all that key, so we could get him that full 24 key. And of course, you know, again, type advantage. The AGL Rosé is still pretty good. I mean, 2.79 is respectable for what else he is providing to the team. So, of course, providing defense and key. That's very, very strong there. And remember that a SA-15 immense damage multiplier actually has a higher damage multiplier than Mega Colossal. So for an 18 key super of an LR. So just always, you know, keep that in mind, right? It's not to say like the thing that kind of would make an LR hit harder at a certain point is just their pure stats. Their stats are going to make them hit harder because most of them, you know, at least at the rainbow level, are rocking well over 20,000 attacks. So that's why they're going to hit harder for sure. And then that 18 key super, especially if you can get them that 24 key super, that's a monstrous buff compared to just a 12 key super. And then this Zamasu Goku, man, a very, very nice addition to this team. Before we wrap up the video here, I guess I should talk about him. This STR Zamasu Goku, man, it's really, really cool. As I was mentioning before, I think that the bones of this team are there. Like, but how many units in the future can we possibly get? Unless they try to classify like Moro, like from the manga, if they try to class him as Realm of Gods, which I could see. I don't think explicitly he is a god. I don't really know. I'll have to look more into the lore. But I know that he's like eternally old. He's like, you know, older than Majin Buu kind of thing. So, but as we wrap up this video, this LR Zamasu Goku, very, very, very strong unit, particularly when he gets his EZA. He absolutely just becomes a monster, just a monster. And guys, Realm of Gods Extreme class, pretty good. We had very, very little issue there getting the win here. Just manipulating the items properly, you know, giving the right units the right super attacks, and then, of course, a little bit of luck. So if you enjoyed this run, slap a like on the video, and, of course, consider subscribing if you're new. Let me know what you would do to kind of fix this team or at least add to this team. And, again, consider subscribing if you're new. I love you guys. Thank you so very much for your support, and I will catch you in the next one. Later.